First of all, thank you for still being here. The conference is officially over. I know a lot of you had to catch a plane or a train, but also thank you for the past 2 days. We were amazed by all the positive feedback that we have received. I've tried to be in as many sessions as possible, and it was so exciting to see the breadth and the depth of topics and the genuine interest in the rooms. I hope you had as good a time as I have, and I'm really thankful for all the positive feedback that we have received. However, I would like to ask you for something else, which is critical feedback. We really need critical feedback, and my friend and partner in crime is going to tell you why.
Okay, so as we told you when we opened this conference yesterday, this whole thing was a little bit rush in preparation, and we fully appreciate all the turmoil that we have created among some of you. Please apologize. However, due to the fact that still you liked it so much, we intend to repeat the doses. I have made today a provisional reservation for next year. Theoretically, basically the only date that was still available would be in the week of the 17th and 21st of August. So after after the summer break, not before the summer break. It might be an ideal date or not. Please let us also know if this is a no-go, either by contacting Daniel or myself directly, or you can provide this feedback also via your co-organizing institution. We really want to do that for you, because there's no point of doing a conference where nobody can come. On the other hand, you might consider combining the attendance of the conference with a few more days in Switzerland. Just a hint. So yes, please provide us with this feedback also. And we are now somehow changing gear. Yesterday was rather formal. I would say today was the mode of an unconference. We missed a few critical elements like the opening circle. This is not really a closing circle. There is no real gifting. But it is my very big pleasure to have now a few speakers which will address a few words to you. And Gail Hodges, the CEO of the Open ID Foundation, will start. Please, the floor is yours.
Quick clarification, Executive Director, for the members in the audience. Wonderful to be here. A quick thank you to the Federal Counselor, who we'll hear from shortly, for having us here in Switzerland. A warm thanks to Rolf for his personal role in helping to pull this together, and obviously a huge thanks to Daniel, who helped drive, and with incredible drive, bring this together in just a few months since the Davos event. So a couple quick points. The Open ID Foundation remains incredibly committed to delivering some of the world-class standards that you rely upon every day. We support billions of users and millions of implementers. We know that there are at least 30 countries who've selected our standards to support their wallet implementations, and we expect around 30 more may be looking at our standards to see if they're the right fit for them. So we want to support you with the right standards and with other capabilities. So, for example, we'll also look at how our standards can be combined with those of many of our great peers that we'll hear from shortly, so that you can have clear reference architecture that has best practices coming from those other countries that might come before you, so you can reflect on that and whether that's a good fit. We're committed to offering our tests that are freely available open source tests. You can run your implementations against them within our environments or run them on your own to see whether they are achieving the outcomes that you're looking for and pass all the tests for the interoperability, security, privacy, and scalability outcomes within your jurisdiction, and we hope cross-border over time. We also plan to scale our certification work to support the demand that we're seeing coming through. We'll also be offering best practice guides on how to configure those specifications, and we'll continue to support the government and the private sector implementers to the best of our ability as a small nonprofit technical standards body. We'll also look to continue to support key players in the ecosystem, supporting the Global South, such as the World Bank, large-scale pilots here in Europe, and other stakeholder groups, such as community groups, City Hub, which is working on reference use cases, rule books, and security best practices, and really trying to help, again, the global community. So thank you very much for letting us say a few words, and thank you for all of you coming here together to have such a constructive set of conversations. Best.
Thank you, Gail. It was a pleasure meeting you in Davos for the first time, and I'm so glad that you were here again. Next up is Sylvia Cadena, the Chief Technology Officer of the World Wide Web Consortium. And I said it wrong, it's the Chief Development Officer, sorry.
It's okay. I'm not a technical person, so. My name is Sylvia Cadena. I'm the Chief Development Officer of the World Wide Web Consortium. W3C develops standards and guidelines to make the web work for everyone. I want to start by thanking again the Swiss Confederation for hosting us, Daniel and the team at the Open Wallet Foundation for getting us all together. It is really meaningful to see so many W3C members in the room, in particular Google, Huawei, MasterCard, and Visa, who are sponsoring this event. I would also like to thank all the volunteers and everybody that supported the logistics because they made us feel at home. It was also a pleasure to work with the 40-plus co-organizers of this event. Although this is the end of the agenda, I hope that we all leave here with a sense of shared purpose, ready to rise to the challenge of what the future path for collaboration in this space should be. This venue has hosted many discussions related to the development of the digital ecosystem. I was in this very room, part of the WSIS champions, and I got a trophy after, so it brings good memories to be in this place. It has served us well as the background for multi-stakeholder dialogue and collaboration. It's a perfect space to gather, although a little bit hot, and on an equal footing. So I really appreciate being here with you all today. Over the last couple of days, I was very pleased to hear both on stage and in the hallways about the relevance of standardization in the space of digital IDs and the development of wallets. It is worth highlighting how many participants recognize the value of interoperability and are working in their own way to fulfill its promise for inclusion and universality. At W3C, our work towards interoperability is guided by design principles. And we would like to encourage you, despite the urgency that we all feel today, to reflect and consider how your policy frameworks and technical solutions are addressing accessibility, internationalization, privacy and security, as well as sustainability, not as an afterthought, but by design. It was inspiring and reassuring to hear how much privacy is key to much of your work. We believe that privacy is core to trustworthy infrastructure, and as it gives people agency and control about what information to disclose in accessing specific services, tools, or completing transactions. At W3C, we firmly believe that a lack of global standards can lead to isolation, fragmentation, and distrust. The technical challenges to make these technologies work for the benefit of humanity pose very serious questions. And it's great to see people taking these questions seriously, all of you in this room. As the solutions that we are building have global impact, it is important that each one of us take action from our different roles and areas of influence. And I will encourage you all to consider how you can provide concrete incentives and financial support to those working on the development and maintenance of open international technical standards so that the space that is needed to build consensus can be strengthened. After all, for solutions to be able to handle this complexity, multi-stakeholder collaboration is a must in every layer. When I was invited to share closing remarks today, I was asked to reflect on how the Global Digital Collaboration Initiative shall evolve into the future. At W3C, we establish and strengthen bridges among many organizations and individuals that share a common vision and a common challenge. We wish Daniel and all the team to steward the next chapter, take us all out of our silos and challenge us. Collaboration is hard and is probably not aligned in any one of our budgets. So, however, the challenges in creating global digital infrastructure cannot be solved by a single entity. It requires us to ask questions, to make informed decisions, and to be flexible, to understand when we need trade-offs and compromises to be able to achieve our collective vision. This initiative, similar to each of our organization's work and what we do, will be in fact impactful only if we show up to the table, especially when it is not easy. The stakes are too high not to do so. So I hope that you leave today with a real call for action to participate in this effectively and meaningfully. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sylvia. Next up is the CEO of the FIDO Alliance, Shikiar. Please.
Thank you very much, and thanks again to all the co-organizers and the Swiss Federation for hosting us. It's been a fantastic couple of days. I thought it'd be good to give some context as to why I am here and why FIDO Alliance is here, and really why we're all here. I want to echo a lot of what Sylvia said, which is the importance of standardization and collaboration. And obviously, I'm very much preaching to the choir when talking about standardization and collaboration. It's part of the name of the conference, but that's what we're all here to do. And that's why FIDO Alliance is here. So most of you are familiar with FIDO Alliance. We're the standards body creating open standards to eliminate reliance on passwords. And we've done that with passkeys. Passkeys are digital credentials for sign-in. And that has solved a very big problem on the web, which is remote attacks and phishing, as a point of sign-in has been a threat that hackers have exploited for far too long. But as we as FIDO Alliance, and I think we collectively look at the problemscape, we realize that sign-in is only part of the equation, and we really need to look at the broader digital identity lifecycle, the broader digital identity concept, and digital credentials on the whole. And so our stakeholders at FIDO Alliance asked us, at the FIDO leadership, to look closer at how we could add value to this equation, to all of you. And we spun up a committee back in February to come up with a strategy on if and how FIDO can add value beyond passkeys to digital credentials. And very quickly, shortly after that, actually, Daniel and Rolf reached out about this conference. And so I asked the Digital Credential Committee to factor this week into its broader plans. And so this was a major milestone for us. These 2 days were a major milestone for our committee because we wanted to come here, talk to all of you, and get feedback on where we think we can add value. So we actually had a lot riding on the success of this event, and I'm grateful for how it's turned out. Frankly, even as one of the co-organizers, I didn't have a great feel for how this would turn out, and all I could really say is, kudos and wow. This exceeded all expectations. And I know that Daniel and Rolf are far too humble to take credit for this, but this would not have been as successful as it is without your hard work, your dedication, and perhaps most importantly, your optimism. The humility is greatly appreciated, but your leadership is also appreciated. So thank you so much for making this happen. It's been a fantastic success. So the feedback we've had this week has been very positive. We're very eager to carry on these conversations about how we at FIDO Alliance could add value here. We're looking at enhancing our protocols, introducing a certification program, and leveraging some of the work we've done in the past with usability and establishing best practices for passkeys and bringing that to wallets and credentials as well. So I invite all of you to have the conversation with us inside of FIDO Alliance and at other forums and events moving forward. As far as this event goes, I'm thrilled to hear you've committed to come back next year. I'm happy to commit FIDO Alliance to supporting this event, to supporting success and moving it forward into 2026 and beyond. So thank you so much, and thank you all for your time today. Thank you.
Thank you, too. Next up is Philippe Metzger, Secretary General of the International Electrotechnical Commission. Please, the stage is yours.
Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, it all started with an idea, a vision for a digital, inclusive, and interoperable future. And this very conference is testament to how a simple yet powerful idea can be propelled forward with motivated collaboration. The interactions that we witnessed yesterday and today are both fundamental and timely. The turnout speaks for itself, 46 co-organizers and a hall that was literally too full for comfort, as somebody said, I think. And I would like to extend my warm congratulations to the Swiss Confederation, to the core organizing team, and of course, every partner and every contributor who made these 2 days possible. Events like this are about learning from one another, face-to-face and organization to organization. When I learned back in March that the beta version of the Swiss EID wallet Mjiuca was going live, I immediately signed up. And so, Federal Councillor Jans, Mr. Rauschenbach, you certainly have one enthusiastic early adopter in the test group. Now, as a Swiss citizen, I may ask, what is my EID worth once I cross the border? And as a Secretary General of the IEC, I know that the answer lies in our strategic vision of an all-electric and connected society that is truly global. Over the last 2 days, we heard about the digital product passports, first-person credentials, electronic driver's license, the EU digital wallet, cross-border decentralized identity and credential trials. And in this context, it has become clear once again how important consensus-based, one country, one vote international standards are to reduce technical barriers everywhere as set out in the WTO TBT agreement. And this is the IEC's core mission, shared with our partners in ISO, with which we also develop joint standards in several joint technical committees. So how can we grow together? If you are building digital systems, build them with interoperability in mind. If you are shaping policy, embed standards which are global, inclusive, and consensus-driven. Today's conference is a strong reminder that we must shape solutions with the global majority, not just for them. And that work, of course, is ongoing also in the IEC. And if you are a citizen, demand systems that work not only for you individually, but also around you collectively. The IEC is your partner in this journey. It is also on us, the IEC, to keep growing the circle. We are committed to expanding collaboration, to nurturing an inclusive, vibrant, multi-stakeholder and inclusive standards community, staying alert to the socio-technical dimension of standards development for trusted digital technologies. And we will be honored to co-shape this exciting journey going forward, helping to turn pilots into interoperable reality for the all-electric and connected society that we envisage. Thank you very much, and safe travels.
Thank you, Philippe. Next up is Secretary General Sergio Mjiuca, almost, for the International Standardization Organization. Please, Sergio.
Muchas gracias. Very well. Good afternoon. And I want to thank the Open Wallet Foundation and the Swiss Confederation for convening this great event, and also for putting collaboration in the very center of our discussions. When Daniel invited ISO during the web meeting in Davos to be a co-organizer of a 1,200 people event, I said, really? That's really ambitious. Huh? And we can see now that after 2 days of vibrant discussions, the mission has been fully accomplished with knowledge sharing, with collaboration, and also innovation. So the point is that when we all know that this is very important for real people, for humanity, where we can make their life easier, safer, more secure with digital identities, the right mindset is, how can we help? And I'm convinced that ISO can be a very good partner in this journey with three main things. Number one, with our standards that already exist. So please do not reinvent the wheel. There are important standards that are already in place that can be used by everyone. We have over 10 standards that are being co-created with the IC that are at everybody's disposal. And with that, we can capture international best practice and technical requirements. We can also bring confidence and trust in the security of our data and also about the conformity assessment. So that's the first thing we bring to the table, the standards that already exist. The second one is a platform that we can use, a trusted platform that we can use to create new standards. And everyone in this room has the power through the national standard body to initiate a new item proposal for standardization. And you also have the power to become experts in our technical committees to be a standard maker. And it's not only the content we produce, it's very much about the process, because we make decisions by consensus, not so easy today. We do it in a very transparent manner with inclusivity. We invite everyone to sit in the table, even those who disagree. And we also enable proactively the participation from developing countries, because this cannot be a closed room of highly developed or large corporation conversation. We really need to make it sure that all voices are heard. And the third thing we can bring to the table is a real commitment to partnership. We're convinced that we cannot do this in isolation, so please count on ISO, the IC, and others as trusted partners in this journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Sergio. Next up is the director of the International Telecommunications Union, Seizo Onoe. Please.
Oh, I need to step. Yeah, actually, I just happened to be here. Then I asked some remarks to give you right now. But I sincerely want to give you my gratitude to you all, our first suites, and also many organizers and all participants from you for the today and yesterday's very fruitful discussions. So actually, the ITU is very pleased to be one of the co-organizers, because ITU is one of the ITU's goal is digital sustainable digital transformation. So to achieve that, we need a collaboration among various stakeholders. So this conference will facilitate such collaboration. So I like to congratulate on this successful conference today and yesterday. So thank you very much.
Okay, and now finally, it is my very big pleasure to call to the stage Federal Councillor Beat Jans. And while he's stepping up, I just say, see you next year, and let's collaborate in between. Thank you so much. See you.
Ms. Cadena, Ms. Hodges, Mr. Shikiar, General Secretary Mjiuca, General Secretary Metzger, Mr. Onoe, ladies and gentlemen, as we bring this first digital collaboration conference to a close, I would like to express Switzerland's heartfelt appreciation for your presence, your insights, and your extraordinary dedication. It was in January when I was hosting the Open Wallet high-level panel meeting in Davos, where I have met Sergio and Philippe and many other high-ranking officials of organizations who are co-organizers today, while already at that time, the quest for privacy, interoperability, trust, and inclusiveness felt important. I was not expecting such a big impact within only a few months. In the 2 past days, you have collectively taken part in 22 overview sessions and nearly 100 collaborative working sessions. You have covered ground that spans continents, disciplines, and protocols, from hardware requirements and verifiable credentials to governance models, open source development, and the challenges of building secure, trustworthy digital public infrastructure. I heard agreeing on the agenda of this conference was no easy task. Organizing this event in the spirit of an unconference with more than 40 co-organizers, all with equal rights and voices, meant navigating a truly collaborative and sometimes complex or even frustrating process. And when I heard that, I thought, welcome to my world. This is exactly how the Swiss government works. I am one of 7 federal councillors, well, only 7 you can say, but we have been elected by the parliament and represent 4 different political parties. It is no secret that my colleagues and I do not always share the same opinion. But every week we meet, deliberate, and seek policies that are backed, if not by all, at least a majority of us. Once we conclude, all 7 federal councillors get behind the agreed position and make sure that it is implemented. So 7 ideas go in, the best goes out. This conference has not only examined the technical foundations of identity, it has reaffirmed the human values at its core: dignity, autonomy, consent, and trust. I know these are big words and often used loosely, but let me tell you, they are essential values that guide my thinking and my doing. It is obvious that in my current role as a federal councillor, I do not have the capacity to delve into the technical and regulatory details that keep you up at night, but it is my responsibility to uphold exactly these values: dignity, autonomy, consent, and trust in every decision I make, especially in moments when the technical complexities exceed my direct grasp. These principles serve as my compass. And from what I've heard and seen of this conference, I feel confident that this compass is shared by many of you. For Switzerland, the discussions about digital identity are deeply timely. You see, 4 years ago, the first attempt for introducing a national digital identity was rejected in a referendum by the people, largely due to privacy concerns and proposed delegation to private actors. As you know, our parliament has passed a new eID Act. This time, we've taken a different approach: public issuance, not privatization; open standards, not proprietary lock-in, and a commitment to transparency, not opacity. But again, that is typical Switzerland. About 56,000 citizens have exercised their constitutional rights and requested a referendum. On September 28, all Swiss citizens can approve or reject the EID. The result is binding. I cannot overrule it. My bosses are the Swiss citizens. Since we learned from the first failed project, I am very confident that the Swiss citizens will approve this project. Also, because not just the product is inclusive, is transparent, is democratic. Also the way the Office of Justice, the Federal Office of Justice, worked this project out was exactly in that spirit: inclusive, democratic, transparent. That's why I'm very confident that this time we can win this referendum. So as we reflect on the importance of this conference, I want to be clear. Your work here matters to Switzerland. In that context, let me share with you that some advised me not to even come to this conference. After all, some people who are trying to stop the Swiss EID argue that this technology is not only meant to set up a system of mass surveillance for Switzerland, but also for international organizations, some of which are co-organizing today's event. So that's the spirit we are in these days. We have to take these concerns seriously. And I couldn't think of a better way, as with events like the Global Digital Collaboration Conference, where experts address exactly these issues in a transparent fashion, and anybody can participate for free. This is how we have to confront these concerns. Thank you for making this possible. Now, as we wrap up, the question is, what next? This conference has sparked not just ideas, but clear directions. The collaborative sessions, technical, regulatory, conceptual, have created frameworks that need to move forward, not sit on a shelf. As host, Switzerland takes seriously the responsibility to keep this momentum going. We'll work to improve future conferences, making them more accessible, better organized, and more inclusive. But this is a global effort. We want to share responsibility and deepen partnership because no country can do this alone. So we're not closing a meeting, we're opening a new phase. This will take consistency, governance, resources, and patience. Building the future of digital identity isn't just about technology, it is about managing complexity, protocols, policies, and people. Let's commit to moving together with clear principles, collaboration, and respect for democratic values, transparency, accountability, participation, and trust. Let's make the next generation of identity not just more efficient, but genuinely empowering. Before I let you head to the apéro, which, as every Swiss knows, is often the most productive part of every conference, let me just share a brief personal impression. This conference brought together not just technical expertise, but real human commitment. Commitment to openness, to cooperation, and to building digital systems that reflect democratic values. Now, I may not be able to explain the difference between certain wallet protocols. Some of the session titles did remind me more of federal ordinance numbers. I admit that, but I can see when something has a momentum, and this does. In Switzerland, we like things that work. Trains, watches, standards, and yes, consensus. What you've built here reflects all of this, even if the journey occasionally included a few missed connections and obviously very lively debates. So thank you for your work, your trust, and your time. Thank you, Daniel and Rolf, for making this possible. And now let's continue conversation informally and go to the aperitif. Merci, thank you, grazie, Fitch. Danke vielmals.